Sci-Fi Review fans. In this episode, I want to talk about the new series on Apple TV Plus called Calls. So I saw this trailer on YouTube for a series on Apple TV Plus called Calls, C-A-L-L-S. It's like, it was just kind of this little waveform, like the old Winamp, music visualization plugin, but it was telephone calls. And I'm like, well, okay, I might give this a shot. The episodes aren't that long, they're all less than a half an hour, roughly. It's like, okay. I start watching it. You're more listening to this. There's no actual physical actors up on the screen. It's all these waveforms and little dots representing the people, and then these waves and lines representing their communications and relationships to one another and what's happening. So visually it's kind of interesting, but at the same time, that's not what you're here for. I'm going to get this right out of the way first. One of the first things that I got a couple episodes in was, this reminds me of like a 1930s, 1940s radio drama type of thing. I mean, it's, everything old is new again, right? And that's exactly what this was to me, was that this is just a old-fashioned radio drama, guys. With one big exception. I listened to this on my 9.1, Dolby Atmos surround. It was doing the 5.1 audio thing. But whoever mixed and engineered this audio is doing some pretty cool stuff with this. I mean, there was several times I had to turn it off because I thought I had that turned off. I had to pause it to make sure that the sounds I was hearing was coming from the TV and not from things elsewhere. I mean, it was like so well mixed, especially in the rears and surrounds and stuff. You're just like, oh my god. And the separation between voices, right, left, center, these dots would move around the screen, the sound would follow them, and there's just so much actually strange stuff happening with the soundtrack. There's several times you're just like, what the heck is that sound? And you pause it, that's coming from the surrounds. Oh my god. A few times I had to stop it and make sure there wasn't something, the cats weren't doing something behind me. I was like, what is that sound? Knock it off. It's like, oh, that's in the TV. I can't tell you enough how cool that was, just listening to that. That's probably the thing that kept me going. In addition to the story. Now, it takes a couple episodes before you start going, oh, I see what's going on here. And there's like a common thread to all these phone calls, is that there's some weird thing going on in the atmosphere, that some phone calls will connect to a point in the past or the future, depending on which side you're on, obviously. The first one, I think, was this guy who got in a fight with his wife and left the house, and every time he calls back or somebody gets a hold of him, for this guy, it's been like an hour or something, or 2 hours. But each time it gets exponentially longer. I think he winds up being like 20-something years into the future for everybody else. But this guy, it's just been a couple hours. And, okay, that's kind of neat. And then another one where they come across, this person is like, my arms are stretching out. There's just weird stuff happening where people are dying in horrible graphic ways, and that's, this radio drama stuff. It's left up to your imagination to imagine what that looks like, to where their faces and their flesh is melting off and their bones are just broken and shattered, and these people are dying in horrible ways. It comes to find out that if in these future past conversations, if somebody changes something and somebody is supposed to die and doesn't, that the universe comes in and goes, nope, I'm going to correct this, and kills them in this terrible, horrible way. And this culminates at the end with, well, I don't really want to spoil it, but get to the last couple episodes and it will all make perfect sense. And there's a lot of big names attached to this. I'm just going off the top of my head here. There was, Pedro Pascal was in there. Rosario Dawson was in another. I had this whole list of names memorized, and now I can't remember any of them. But there's a bunch in there, and you recognize some of these. Karen Gillan was in another one, I think. They're starting to come back to me now. Sure, whatever. But there's a lot, if you read the credits, there's a lot of big names attached to this. And you recognize these voices, so they're not completely foreign, and they're good actors, voice actors too. So it's not, crap acting in these phone calls. The writing is stilted in such a way that, like an old radio drama, they have to make some allowances for describing what's happening to them. So there's some scenes that seem like they're written weird. It's like, why wouldn't you be saying this? But it's like, oh, we have to know what's going on. They're describing this to us. Yeah, okay, that's cool, I guess. In the end of this series, you just go, wow, okay, that was actually pretty cool. I mean, I started watching in the first one, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to finish watching this. This is weird, and it's just weird. And I watched the second one, and I'm like, okay, I see the connection. I'm going to watch the third. And after, I think the third, which I think was the one with Pedro Pascal and the bank heist thing, after that one, I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot and just watch it out. They're not that long. I think it's 9 episodes in total. You're in for, does the math, like 3 hours or something of time. It's not a huge time investment. Honestly, if you don't listen to this on a decent surround sound system, don't bother. I mean, I say that, don't bother, but it won't be the same. It will not be the same. If you've got headphones that do the whole Dolby Surround thing, I know those exist. Find a way to watch this with a decent surround sound system, something that will give you that spatial audio, and prepare to be totally blown away by that. So what am I going to give this show? I'm giving Calls a 3.6 out of 5. I went that high with it just because of the technical wizardry involved in this audio engineering setup that they did. I'm just sitting there listening to this. You could shut your eyes and just listen to this and be totally blown away. The story's pretty decent. Once you get all the way through to the end, you'll be like, oh, I get it now, and you'll get every single thing that happened in this entire series will make sense to you. I don't want to spoil it for you. If you don't have Apple TV Plus, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if it's available anywhere else. That's in the States. That's where it is. Find a way to watch it. I think it's worth it. 3.6. If you like this video, let me know. Let me know if you don't. Tell me why down in the comments. Subscribe to this channel so I know you're watching, so I can make more of these awesome videos. This has been SCIFI Review. Thanks for watching.